People hate quarantine. I found that most of my friends who were bored in quarantine did not plan for it in advance. The best way to keep yourself morale high is to... My name is Leo, I come from Hong Kong and I'm staying in Israel for my master's study. I've got a bunch of luggage and I have just arrived in Israel. I'm supposed to stay in quarantine for just 8 days, but for some Israel-style spontaneous culture, I've stayed for 13 days. That's not bad to me, though, because I make those days a purpose.
We're not here because we're free. We're here because we're not free. There's no escaping reason, no denying purpose.
Okay, so this is the place that I'm going to spend my quarantine. The University Hotel, U-Town. And I'm glad that I did a few months of gym when I was in Hong Kong. And the 80 kg of luggage. Home sweet home. Oh, I got no food by the way, but whatever it does, I need a shower first. Let's pick them in and get some shower first.
In fact, I quite need those 2 weeks when I have some me time to work. After the pandemic of SARS in 2003, there is a habit in Hong Kong to clean everything when you return from places like the airport. So I keep this habit of wiping everything from the luggage wheel to my bags and everything that I have used in my flight. That night I ate my last Chinese food I got from Hong Kong, another mooncake. I was unpacking and did not worry about my food until that afternoon, when I got reinforcement from my MBA course advisor. You will receive a bag of Israel-style food from your door. I did not realize these are the only supplies to keep me surviving for the coming few days. Oh, and what's this? Well, whatever it is. Okay, I did not know these are the famous hummus. They normally eat with pita bread. Somebody says they are the loaves of 5 loaves 2 fish that Jesus fed the 5,000 crowd of people that followed him. Hummus is the most famous local food in Israel. Just like the ramen in Japan, the fried oyster egg in Taiwan, or the egg tart in Hong Kong, they are sold in the supermarkets and some specialty restaurants. However, every local Israeli has their own list of best hummus restaurants they love. I have to first share the fact that I lost weight after my arrival in Israel. There are not many restaurants in Israel and the Israelis are famous for bringing their own lunch boxes. They have no Uber Eats, no Foodpanda, no Deliveroo. There is a similar company called Wolt, but at the time of Sukkot, most of the restaurants are closed and not all supermarkets had door-to-door delivery services. With a combo of Sukkot and Shabbat holidays, there's still some supermarkets. However, it seems none of them are expecting to serve foreigners like me. I've spent a lot of time searching for supermarkets available and trying to tune in the local cooking style. Here's my report of user not friendliness for foreigners to purchase online. First, local mobile is a must. You are required to use the local Israel numbers, which I did not get one in Sukkot. Second, you cannot use international credit cards in online purchase. They accept only local credit cards with a valid Israel resident ID number. Note that if you present an international credit card in physical shops, it is 99% usable. You could even use an international credit card on a vending machine, just not for online shopping. Third, there's no English user interface. Israel has a lot of English speakers, but they are not ready for the English version for foreigners in most websites. Even if you click the English menu, they are mainly in Hebrew. Every time you shop, be ready to guess which of these chickens are chicken breast or chicken leg with your cooking experience. And when you do credit card payment, always memorize where you should fill in your name and where you should fill in your expiry date. I spent a few days researching and finally was able to use TIFF, one of the biggest chain supermarkets, to purchase the first batch of my supermarket supplies. Reinforcement. Eventually, this is the only supermarket I found that delivers to Beersheba, has an English menu bar, and accepts international credit cards online. With home delivery service, the price to purchase in the online shop is around 15% to 30% more expensive than going to physical supermarkets, tax and delivery costs included. The supply supported me during the second week of the long Sukkot Holiday. So, if you're foreigners like me and you want to do it online, just go to TIFF. And yeah, I'm ready if TIFF is sponsoring me some steaks or chickens for me to cook. I found that most of my friends who are bored in quarantine did not plan for it in advance. The best way to keep yourself morale high is to plan for it and prepare for it. I planned my days in a schedule to have regular exercise, learning about Israel culture, and a lot of entertainment with Netflix and YouTube. It is also very important to keep your environment clean and tidy. You are the person going to spend a lot of time with it. It is worth to keep it a nice place just for yourself. There's a lot of exercise you could do even without any tools. I have also bring along my elastic band kit that you could just gym at home. When I do cooking and gymming, it would be my YouTube and Netflix time. I have finished a few TV series in quarantine like the latest Attack on Titan, infamous Squid Game, and my sister's favorite anime, Rick and Morty. The last thing I do is go out for a PCR test. Today is the 7th day of my quarantine. I'm going to take the PCR test. If the test is negative, which means I'm not infected with coronavirus, then I will be able to set free. The policy keeps changing in Israel like every 2 weeks. I went for a PCR test on day 7. I walked and searched for 45 minutes to the closest hospital nearby. I was told it is closed. Okay, so I have arrived at the right place. The gentleman over there just told me it's Sukkot, so everything is closed, including the PCR test. So no PCR test today. And so I'm going back without any things that I can do. He looks so frustrated. So that's the end of the day. It is closed. The holy whole of Israel is closed. So I spent a few more days in the quarantine house. I revisited the same place a few days later, and luckily I got my PCR test done finally. Eventually I stayed in quarantine for 13 days, packed all my stuff again and moved to the new dormitory. The people in Israel are normally helpful to English-speaking foreigners. Life in Israel is so fun, and I'm now spending a lot of precious time with the friends I've made within and outside the university. I would definitely share more of Israel's life as a foreigner. Like and subscribe this channel to explore more about Israel with me. If you want to know how I prepare my trip to Israel in the COVID period, please check this episode. Lucky throw! See you next time!
짠! 짠! Hành rất căm hạnh vậy đi.